You think you're ready to set sail on open waters, to feel the taste of salt on your face and the wind billowing the black sails that announce your arrival. You are the captain, the wolf of the sea, the owner of a freedom few would dare dream of. But before casting off the moorings, take a deep breath. Every gold coin shining in the hold of your ship is also a curse flickering in the darkness. Your crew shouts, celebrates, and raises mugs of rum as the deck rocks beneath their hulls. You learned early that fear is your anchor and your compass. Each successful raid buys you a few more days of life, but also more hunters after you. Entire governments whisper your name like the plague. You have scars on your arms, tattoos on your back, missing teeth, and a dagger hidden in each boot. This is how you survive when being a legendary pirate isn't just a fancy title. It's a death sentence sailing behind you, disguised as glory. In every tavern where you lean your mug, rumors grow. They say you buried treasure on secret islands, betrayed former friends to escape ambushes, and were once a renegade nobleman. Every lie attached to your name becomes truth when your portrait is plastered over every port, a high price paid in pounds sterling, francs, or Spanish doubloons. You get used to sleeping with your flintlock pistol in your arms. In the dead of night, only the creak of the mast reminds you that you're still alive and still worth fearing. A second of carelessness, and your second in command might plunge a blade between your ribs to take your place. The treasure, the myth, the infinite fortune, it's all just bait. The crown wants you to believe you can be rich forever, that you're as invincible as the sea. But there's no sea without a tide. Gold buys ammunition, buys silence, buys passengers for another escape. But when the gold runs out, your body becomes currency. It's a humid morning when your luck changes. You hear church bells in the distance as you notice cannons lining the horizon. A Royal Navy ship, painted white and blue, approaches. You shout orders, your men run, ropes creaking on the masts. But deep down, you already know, today is the day your legend will grow or be buried along with you. The attack is brief. Screams, gunpowder, smoke, swords clanging, barrels rolling, men falling into the icy water. You fight like a demon, face sweaty, teeth clenched. Each blow is a confession that you don't want to go down hanging in a square. But the sea, indifferent, laps at the deck with red waves. Cold handcuffs close around your wrists. The crowd gathers at the port like flies around a corpse. To them, you're no longer the captain who deceived entire empires. You're just this week's bloody spectacle. Children climb onto their parents' shoulders to get a better look. You try to keep your head up as you're dragged to the cell. Along the way, you meet the eyes of other pirates, some your former comrades, others merely curious. You taste iron in your mouth, the taste of someone who knows the legend ends with a thick rope tightened around your neck. In the damp prison, you face rats, stone walls, and rusty bars. Your mind returns to the sea, the waves, the rocking, the breeze. Outside, someone must be counting coins taken from your sunken ship. Outside, your name still rings like a threat in dimly lit taverns. But inside your cell, you are just a man. No legend survives intact when the executioner sharpens the blade that will flay your pride. Treasure gleams in the coffers of those who have never touched a saber, never soiled their hands with gunpowder. And you, who risked everything, are just another man condemned to the gallows.
The day arrives. The square teems with people. The bell tolls like a distant laugh echoing in your stomach. You, now unshaven and with torn clothes, take a deep breath. Each step up to the wooden platform feels like a nail hammered into your coffin. The executioner adjusts the rope, cold, rough, pressing against your skin. The crowd stirs. They want to see the myth fall. They want to see the legend swing in the wind like a trophy. You stare at the gray sky. You think of the sea, the sound of the sails, the freedom you stole with your own hands. The executioner asks your last words. You give a wry smile, even as fear runs down your spine. The gold, the treasure, the myth, it will all remain. But you'll walk away hanging. But your name continues to float like a bottle thrown into the waves. The crowd holds its breath as the executioner pulls the lever. You feel the ground disappear beneath your feet, a second frozen in time as the wind slices through your face like a sail tearing at the mast.
For a moment, there's silence. The swaying of your body makes the timbers creak, like the deck of your ship did on moonless nights. You sway, but you no longer sail. And yet, every wide-eyed gaze that watches you sees something else. Some see punishment, others see freedom. At the back of the square, a boy watches with clenched fists. In his eyes, you are reborn, not as a hanging corpse, but as a living legend. Tomorrow, he will tell other boys how you challenged the crown, how you stole entire ships, how you defied generals. His body will rot in some anonymous grave, but not his name. He will travel in barrels of rum, in drunken sailors' songs, in stories whispered in the alleys of stinking ports. The gallows only kills the man. Myth feeds on death. As his body sways, coins fall from hidden, sewn-together pockets. Some roll to the feet of onlookers who crouch low, hungry. It's cursed gold, each coin bought with blood, gunpowder, and betrayal. Whoever touches them also carries a bit of their damnation. At the nearest tavern, an old sailor raises his mug in your honor. He spits on the ground and vows that one day he will finish the job you started, burying governors, plundering treasures, and dying free, even if forced to dance on a tightrope. The sails of his ship, now abandoned in the cove, creak in the wind. Seagulls perch on the empty deck. The hull rocks, waiting for whoever dares to raise the anchor and continue on their way. Because there's always a fool willing to become a legend, even knowing how it ends. The remaining sailors, his faithful, drink themselves into oblivion, whispering his name as if it were a spell. They know there's no point in running. Soon another captain will appear among them, bark orders from the deck, promise plunder and freedom, and drag them all down with him. In the palace of the one who hanged you, the lords toast with expensive wine. They talk of politics, taxes, how the sea is safer now that you've become food for crows. They laugh as if gold were never lacking on their tables, but fear still lives in their hearts, because they know there will always be another like you, another dog without a leash, without land, without a king, one who chooses the sea over the tedium of obedience, one who prefers the storm to the tedium of stone walls. Your head bobs like a sinister banner, but your crooked smile still lives in the memory of those who saw you bark orders amidst the fire.
There's no wall that can hold back the wind, no rope that can hang an idea. The boy who watched you die returns home with his pockets heavy with coins that fell from your body. Deep in his eyes shines the same fire that burned in yours. He doesn't want to be a farmer. He doesn't want to be a soldier. He wants the tide, the salt, the gunpowder. Years later, when his name appears on wanted boards, they'll remember you. They'll say he's just another fool who followed their example. And they'll try to hunt him down the same way, with cannons, gold coins, thick rope, and crowded squares. And will it work? Maybe, maybe not. Because the sea doesn't accept owners, and every head hanging in a square is just fertilizer for another black flag to rise on the horizon. You're gone, but the roar of the sea repeats your name with every wave that breaks against the docks. For those who are brave, this is an invitation. For those who are afraid, it's a curse. For those who hunger for freedom, it's a promise. If anyone asks why you chose to die this way, just look at the sails creaking in the cove. There the ship still waits, the legend still floats, and no one can strangle the wind. So the next time someone calls you crazy for wanting to live like a pirate, remember, the treasure was never the gold. It was the chance to live free, even if only for a short time. And that even kings deep down envy.